Hi guys, and welcome back. I received some fan mail that had just a couple of questions in it, and I'm going to address those questions on here, and hopefully you guys have some input. So let's just jump right into these questions. How important is it to you that your husband or wife wear their wedding band or ring? So for me, it has not been an issue. My husband wears his band and I wear my ring. I do take it off, however, sometimes when I'm, like dealing with meat or whatever. Say if I'm making a meatloaf and you're dealing with me or I'm dealing with the meat or whatever, I take it off for that. Or if I'm dealing with some really, really harsh chemicals or whatever, I may take my ring off. But of course, I put it back on. But how do you guys feel about that? Is it important that you guys wear rings? Sometimes only the wife wears a ring. Sometimes only the husband wears a band. Sometimes they don't wear bands at all, and their love for each other is no less. It's not necessarily because of a ring. So what do you guys do? All right. Next question is from a male fan. He wants to know, why is it that women never seem to know what they want to eat? Well, sometimes some men are very basic. They eat the same things. They can eat the same things every day if you allow them to. Us women, we know that there are a lot of choices, and we try to take advantage of that. So sometimes, let's say if we have, say you're used to having steak and potato and salad, maybe she doesn't want to have steak, potato, and salad. Maybe she wants to have steak and asparagus and carrots. It's not just that she's so indecisive about knowing what she wants to eat. She realizes that there are a lot of choices out there, and hey, she needs a little more time to think about it. Okay, so the next question is a question from a female fan, and she would like to know, why do men put their clothes on the floor instead of in the hamper? Sometimes, and not all men, and even not all women, but sometimes when you've had a really, really hard day at work, you just want to get out of those clothes and hop into the shower, whatever the case is. Sometimes I guess it's not done on purpose, and some people do. I guess it just depends on the individual. So that's the best answer I could give. How do you guys deal with that? Are you guys having that issue, or is your husband or wife just putting the clothes in the hamper, or what are you doing with that? Okay, the next question is, how do you feel about your spouse or significant other having friends of the opposite sex? For me, I've been knowing my husband for 30 years, so it would be really, really hard for he or for me to come up with new friends. Not saying that we can't have friends, but it would be really hard to come up with somebody new of the opposite sex. Some people don't mind it. Some people are fine with having friends of the opposite sex and everything. And so I guess it just depends on how your relationship works. Like I said, at this point, I know all of his friends. He knows all of my friends. So it would be really hard for somebody new to just pop up. I don't know. The next question is, what do you consider cheating? So I consider cheating anything that's done that you would not do in front of your spouse or significant other. That does not mean that everything they do, they need to get an okay from you and check with you to make sure everything is okay. So that's not what that means. Plus, you would hope that that there's a lot of integrity in the relationship to begin with. And for me, it's not that I don't trust him, it's that I don't know them. Okay, so that's the answer I have for that question. What do you guys consider cheating? Okay. All right, the next question is, how do you guys feel about sharing bank accounts or having separate accounts? You know, for us, we share an account. We pour from the same well, or we eat from the same bucket, or however you want to say it, you know. So everything is done in one from one account for us. That's what works for us. So anytime I'm making any large purchases, you know, I discuss it with my husband, and sometimes we go and check it out together, and he gives me his opinion or I give him my opinion. And absolutely, anytime I'm loaning money to anybody, I always let him know, no matter the amount, that I am making a loan to somebody, because we like to keep our money protected and safe. So what do you guys do? Are you guys, you know, paying separate bills, separate accounts? Are you sharing bills, sharing accounts? What are you guys doing? All right, so the final question is going to be, how do you discipline your children? And there's no right or wrong way or whatever. Everybody has their way of dealing with things and dealing with their kids. I like to empathize. I like to get to the bottom of things. I like to know why you made the choices you made, and to let you know that there's always a choice. My husband, on the other hand, is more of a, you know, I'm gonna take away your electronic devices or gaming consoles or what have you. That's his thing. His thing is taking things away. My thing is talking, and that's what works for us, and that normally does the trick. You know, talking does the trick, really. So one of the other things one of the rules or the things that I implemented for my children probably about 20 years ago was, you can come to the dinner table or dining room table, or whatever you want to call it. You can come to the dining room table and you can sit at that table, and when you're sitting at that table, it is a judge-free and punishment-free zone. So you can come to that table and you can tell us anything, be it good or bad, but more than likely it's something bad. And we are obligated to listen to you. We are obligated to find a solution, if possible, but we always do find a solution, and we're obligated to do it without chastising or criticizing, or however you want to say it. But just because you're at that table does not mean that I won't express to you how I feel about the choices you made that put you in that situation. But it is a judge-free zone. It is a punishment-free zone. And I set that up to give my kids the opportunity to be able to tell us anything without allowing them the opportunity to sit on it for days or weeks, not knowing what to do. You can always come to the table and tell us, and you can do it without being punished and without being judged. And it teaches them that they can be honest, and it teaches them that when we come to that table, you have our word that, you know, this is as far as it goes. Once you get up from the table, the situation and the discussion is over. Once we get up from that table, that's over. However, if you were to tell us something while you are away from that table, or you know, whatever the case is, then you better believe that that punishment is coming, and it will be swift. So we set up that zone for them, and it's worked. It's worked really well, and I was happy to do it. So one of the other things that I implemented for my girls, I take my girls to school every day, and a lot of times when we get our kids up in the morning, or the kids get up in the morning, we're telling them, hey, get dressed, eat breakfast. It's boom, 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 boom. You know, we need to get out of here, whatever the case is. And we don't give them a chance to interject and say if something is wrong, or something is bothering them, or if they're being bullied, or something's going on at school. And we don't allow them the opportunity to let us know what's going on. So even if I take my girls all the way to school, even if they get out of the car in the car line they can get back in the car. And I will say, you know, why are you getting back in the car? You know, they are allowed to get back in the car if they don't want to go to school, if it's something that we need to talk about and they just won't, you know, they just can't face whatever that is, or whatever the case is. And then, you know, we go home, we discuss whatever it is, and you know, if I need to call teachers, principal, or whomever to get to the bottom of it, that's what we do at that point. I've had Jordan to abuse that once, and she got out of the car and she got back in the car. And so as we started to drive along, I said, so Jordan, what's going on? She's like, I just didn't feel like going to school. And I said, Jordan, that's not what this is for, but okay, you know, I'll let you have this one today, but you won't be allowed to do this again. This is for serious things that's going on. So I don't want you to think that this is something where you just don't want to go to school. You know what? I can just stay in a car. But no. Anyway, what do you guys do? You know, how do you guys discipline your children? Have you put any things in place to help them deal with some of the issues that our kids go through and face at school or wherever? Anyway, guys, that was the final question. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, or you're more than welcome to email those questions to me. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please take the time out to subscribe. That's all I have for today, guys. See you next time. Bye.